And of course, they lost that. Maybe that's persuade things. Who knows? Picks and bans getting underway. Do we feel confident about these bans? We knew that one was coming.
That was pretty obvious. Millennium banned it every single game in the Super Week. Alliance, of course, played it in 3 out of 4 games. Absolutely love Lulu. Taking away already.
Yeah, there is the Kayle, there is the Kassadin, all in the mid lane, the bans for Millennium. No surprises, all very strong bans as well. Zeke's taken away, as you mentioned. Kurt was huge on that last week. Jack's taken away. One of the strongest top laners, almost, or more importantly, Kevin's favorite top laner.
Yeah, and Wicked seems to favor more towards Aurelia, Shyvana than the Jax itself, so that's why they banned away. Don't want to risk Kevin taking it and just become this split push king.
Interesting, interesting. A Fizz ban coming out there. That's something that clearly they've known from playing each other. Of course, Millennium Alliance, we do know, were scrim partners for the Super Week. So no surprise, both these teams actually came out 3-1. But it does mean LeBlanc was left open
Twitch
once
is open
again.
Too.
A champion that went 10-0-5 for Kurt last week.
Yeah, so LeBlanc being locked in for Curb, of course. Fantastic LeBlanc player. Twitch is still open. Kog'Maw is still open when it comes to AD carries here. Lucian, of course, is still open. A lot of options. Alliance went straight for Shyvana because Jax was banned away. We know Wicked loves to play it. And of course, Lee Sin, considered the strongest jungler at the moment.
Fast pick and ban phrase between these two. Here we go. This is what we thought we may see in Game 1 from Gambit. We will finally see it from Millennium. The Kog'Maw Nami combo that has been run heavily in Korea.
Yeah, it's such a popular comp because Kog'Maw, as long as you have some good peel for him, which is what Nami provides, and also with the slow onto Kog'Maw, it's more kiting. You speed him up as well. There's so many options to help out this Kog'Maw, so you can just stay in the back and just do all the damage in team fights. It's a very, very strong combo. And also in the laning phase, get a few levels, your long-range poke, you put your E from Nami onto Kog'Maw, and he just start auto-attacking away onto the enemy teams. It's a lot of damage.
Well, tried and tested coming out from Alliance, of course. It looks like it will be that Thresh Lucian combo. They've yet to pick it in. Does mean, of course, that Twitch would go through, and yeah, I believe he must be sitting around 100% pick or ban right now. He's got to be very close to it, that's for sure.
So the thing about Lucian here, or if it had been Twitch for Alliance, Twitch against Kog'Maw is a bit of a hard lane for Twitch. So the Lucian here instead will be able to do a lot against Kog'Maw and will, hopefully for Alliance, be able to deny him some CS early on here, maybe even try and go for a kill. So the Lucian pick, also against the likes here of LeBlanc. You don't want this immobile Twitch who can do anything once LeBlanc actually jumps towards you. Lucian, of course, can dash away.
Well, we are going to see Cotnex on one of his favorite champions, Kha'Zix. It's a champion that basically got them through back into the Summer LCS against Ninja Pajamas, and Trundle back in that top lane. Makes sense up against Shyvana.
Of course.
Final pick for Alliance, seemingly, could be Froggen on Nidalee.
Could be Nidalee here. Of course, laning phase-wise against LeBlanc, it is a hard one for Froggen. Also opens up for Curb to take full control and start roaming around. Go up to the top lane, go down to the bottom lane, try and look for some kills here, because he will be able to pressure Nidalee in the laning phase at least. But overall, both teams very fast with locking in here. They definitely knew what they wanted, and both of them are kind of reacting to each other. The Lucian pick instead of the Twitch for Alliance, of course, the Trundle against Shyvana with Jax being banned out, and also picking up Kha'Zix for Cotnex simply because the Sin is already gone.
So the Nidalee was the final choice. So Froggen will be on that, up against Curb. How do we see that mid lane pairing going before we get into the match?
Well, obviously, Curb with Ignite here, he will have the pressure. It's what we talk about. It's what LeBlanc needs to do. You need to go in here, constantly try and deny some CS from Froggen, push the wave up early, get him into the tower where it's hard for him to do anything, because Nidalee is very, very weak in the early game. However, if Froggen can survive it, get to this mid-game point, and Alliance then can start grouping up with, of course, Lucian, with the Nidalee, and just start poking down on towers, then it's actually very hard for Millennium to respond when it comes to wave clear. Because first of all, Kog'Maw won't be able to instant clear wave. Second of all, it's risky for LeBlanc to jump into the wave and clear it if members are around the tower here, because he needs to use the distortion to jump in and clear the wave here. So Alliance, if they survive here at the very first levels, can start grouping up and start poking down towers where the wave clear or lack of wave clear from Millennium could be a big issue for them.
Well, we'll see how it goes, ladies and gentlemen, because the lineups are locked in. So, do you still think Alliance will win this match? Send us a tweet with hashtag MILWin or hashtag ALLWin. That's all win, of course, to @LOL eSports, and let us know how you think this will go. We'll check the numbers out in the game and see if your votes have changed. Remember, 67% of you voted for Alliance early on. We'll see if it swings.
Can still keep it there. I mean, the comp from Alliance is pretty solid. It's a bit risky in some cases. Again, LeBlanc can get out of hand. Of course, Trundle We'll be able to beat Shyvana in the late game split push here, so there's definitely options for Millenium to just spread out and start split pushing different lanes, looking for kills with this LeBlanc and just keep Kog'Maw in the middle in case something should happen.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game 3 getting underway. Millenium versus Alliance, of course. Millenium will be starting out on the blue side, and they will be up against Alliance, who are over on the red side. Packed house here in Cologne. And remember, don't forget, tickets are available for the upcoming weeks, but as of right now, you're not going to get in this week, that's for sure. Nope. Sold out.
And we need to see here with the second blue buff when it actually spawns. If Alliance want to try and get some early ward in, it's something they've been doing a lot of contesting for buffs here. If they want to go in with Shook, with Wicked, for instance, try and stop something happening when the second blue buff spawns, and then when the third one, around the 12-minute mark, that's the one they want to pick up here, or get the blue buff onto Froggen, and that's where we can see them start grouping up in the mid lane and just pushing down towers. And Jerry dancing around. That is one of the best things about Nami, by the way.
That's the best thing about Nami, the dance.
One of them.
One of them. It is a champion you played a lot of. Oh, Shook might get caught out here. Is the...
Oh,
no, but it forces the flash early from the jungler.
Yes, it got the flash away here. There was, of course, already ward being placed from Shook early on, so he couldn't actually spot them coming in, and he had to flash away. Of course, didn't actually want to try and just safeguard away again, because the ward was gone.
Well, look at that. That's still pretty close. You guys obviously been voting all week. It's up to 73% currently. That vote, of course, will be continue going through, so keep your votes coming in. 67% online votes, 73% you guys watching right now. So, no early engagements. We did see the force flash from Shook, so that will be down for a while from Shook. I don't think it's going to make too much difference because it was around about a minute in, so that cooldown will be off fairly soon.
And Alliance here actually starting the lane swap themselves. They're expecting Millenium to still be around in here. They're waiting around and moving in, of course, to spot. Millenium is already gone. They're very far away here from this one. They're actually down the bottom lane. So we're going to see a lane swap here from Alliance. Could actually favor them in the case that Wicked on Shyvana can farm really well in the jungle together with Shook, where, of course, Trundle, who's purely all one target, like straight up just doing damage to the first target in front of him, won't be able to clear the jungle as fast as Wicked.
Going to see how this works out for them. So J-Reed getting deep for the ward on that blue buff. Looks like it's going to be... Oh no, he's starting off the blue buff. That's very early. He's going to tank this one for a while with Kotnix not there.
A bit early starts it, but he feel like Millenium has to go straight from their red to the blue buff because they expected Alliance to do the exact same thing up in the top lane, seeing as they started red buff, and now Alliance, of course, can just move in and take this blue buff away. So both teams trading buffs here. We just need to see what they can do with the jungler and top lane, how much farm they can manage to pick up. Will we see a fast push again like we saw in the last game, where both teams just went straight to the lanes and 4-man pushed them? Kevin, down to 50%, actually tried to take the big wave, had to back away, and received 0 CS yet. And that's the issue here. Shyvana and Lee Sin, they are really, really good at jungling together.
Yeah, I think we will be the fast push. You can see that Shook and Wicked sticking around up there. Looks like it's going to be Kevin heading down towards that bottom lane, so it's going to be that 4-0 split. Once again, Kotnix is pretty low on health, chucking down those pots though, so he's going to be safe by the time he gets back around to the turret.
I like what Alliance is doing here actually. They decided not to go for the 4-0 because they know we can just keep farming. Top lane wise, we don't need to send 4 people there. I mean, generally, we never actually need to send 4 people anymore to get the towers because people don't even stay to try and defend. They just go into the jungle here and farm away. Kevin, trying to pick up some CS at least down here in the bottom lane, will actually get solo XP on the big golem because he's so far behind. Wicked and Shook though, just keep farming away both of them. Very, very fast at playing here.
Yeah, the buddy system working out well as the top laner. There we go, teleport. Where is Wicked going to? Let's see where he joins. He goes straight down towards that bottom, so
perfect.
That teleport is down. He'll cover off the tower for now and actually will get himself a big chunk of experience and farm.
Yeah, this is so perfect for Wicked and Alliance here. He's already level 3, only level 1 on Kevin, and he's still trying to farm with Kotnix. Wicked getting a lot of XP, picking up some farm at least also in his bottom lane here. So perfect use of teleport for him. Still, the tower is going to take a lot of damage. Millenium can stay down the bottom lane with 2 members and just keep pushing on it.
Well, Shook got spotted there. We do see Nif coming around. They're actually going to block them off. Nicely done there. That's going to force Millenium to have to go the long way around and keep that damage on the turret, more importantly.
We need to see it. Basically just denying now Kevin from moving up here. They will get it. Didn't even touch the wave, so that is perfect. And now actually it's going to focus the first minion coming in here from Alliance. So that is beautiful done by Taps. It's now going to push actually towards Alliance as well.
So explain to everyone why exactly not touching that lane there was so important.
Well, basically, you want to make sure the wave is not pushing towards Millenium after you kill the tower here, because then Kevin can just freeze it and pick up a lot of easy farm. Now, as soon as he gets the minions to actually push towards the Lion side, it forces Millenium to move multiple members to stop the freeze from happening. Otherwise, Tabs will just stay here for the next 5 minutes and just free farm, and Kevin will be denied all the CS.
Yeah, basically stops Kevin sitting down right by that bottom, the top inner turret, by farming away. Instead, Tabs and Nif are going to be happy to have that whole wave on their doorstep, and now they're just going to hold it there. You can see Nif, he's doing exactly what he needs to do, tanking it up, making sure it stays exactly where it does. Doesn't go to the tower, so the tower's not getting hits on it, and they're just going to hold it, freeze it there nicely. The rest of the wave's going to come up, and that actually puts big problems for Kevin.
So Kevin, of course, is going to get denied quite a lot. He needs to go back to the jungle with Cotnex here, unless Millenium can send another member up to the top lane to try and push the wave all the way out, or go down towards the dragon, because there are 2 members from Alliance in the top lane. Set up a dragon here, force something, at least get some global gold, or force Alliance into a bad team fight.
And we should explain, obviously, the exact same is happening down the bottom lane. Creaton is doing the exact same thing down there. So both these teams playing very much identical right now.
And they're actually also sending now Kevin and Cotnex back to the top lane. They want to try and push the wave out. Wicked, he just keeps jungling away because, again, as you just mentioned, bottom lane, no farm for him. Coming up to this top lane here. So we see Millenium, they can be in big trouble here, because Wicked is coming in, 3 members from Alliance, only 2 from Millenium.
We'll see if Nif manages to throw out that death sentence. Doesn't look like he's interested, whether that's poor communication, whether they just didn't feel it was enough. They simply wanted to bully him out. Froggen's going to get stunned out there. Kip's not going to follow through. That's because Shook was coming around the side, and actually he's keeping the aggression on J-Ree. He does manage to land the kick, gets it down, and that takes J-Ree very low.
J-Ree didn't use his flash though. Knew he was going to stay alive. Exhaust also ready for him. Hook misses from Nif. Both him and Wicked being very aggressive. The Alliance in general doing everything they can to make sure Millenium can't break the freeze in top lane.
And they're doing everything they can to keep the AD carries both completely farming. And looking at the 2, you can see it's actually pretty even between the 2 at the moment. It's sacrificing a lot of farm, though, for the 2 top laners.
They basically just have to try and get what they can here, and we see them rotate around Kevin now in this mid lane. We talked about the lack of wave clear from LeBlanc. From Trundle, of course, he can't jump in with Distortion. That's why Alliance can now push this tower.
Well, if he does jump in, he could get flayed straight away. Oh,
there it is!
But just use it. There's the death sentence, hooks him in! And Shock follows straight through with a Sonic Wave. Nicely done. Gets caught out, but he's going to take the Lantern to freedom.
And Curb couldn't have showed it anymore. That was a perfect example of why LeBlanc can just jump into wave clear, because again, Thresh was ready with the hook, with the flay, locks him down, easy kill for Alliance. Now they're moving into the jungle to get some wards.
Gonna keep that pressure down. Red buff now being invaded by Alliance. We'll see whether they do manage to steal this one away. Cotnex, of course, is there with his smite if he can pull him into their greedy junglers. He does get it away though. So nicely done. Cotnex hits and runs, gets out of there.
They have the option now to go bottom lane and just stop this freeze, push the wave all the way into the tower, so it's going to kill the wave. It's actually already done freezing, so it's going to push up towards Alliance now, with a very big wave being built up by Creaton.
Meanwhile, in the top lane, Tabs had give up pushing because he knew Kevin had held there for so long, he just shoved it into the tower quickly.
Kevin needs to get to this tower very, very fast. Okay, he's going to teleport to it wisely enough. There's a big wave. He needed this farm here, otherwise he would fall even further behind. So he needed to use the teleport. Wicked saved his, because he could just move from the mid lane down to the bottom lane and get all the farm here. And also, of course, the tower down the bottom lane from Alliance didn't get touched because Creaton was freezing the wave.
And he's actually going to use that Dragon Descent just to keep all the farm up. And he manages to get the entire wave. That takes him to level 6, so he is just slightly ahead of Kevin for now.
And now teleport for Alliance is up. Cooldown for Kevin here, so Wicked can go back to the top lane, do a one-on-one with Kevin. Alliance can then start the Dragon. Wicked can teleport down if needed. 5 members from Alliance, easy Dragon for them. Millenium won't be able to respond unless Kevin decides to run away from this top lane and just run all the way down to the Dragon.
We'll see how it plays out right now. It is, you can see Alliance with their duo lane up against Millenniums down this bottom lane. Creaton finally going to go back and buy, get himself a bilge of water, cut this onto Cogmore, and of course a dagger coming in there with the boots. Cotnex just staying off the side at the moment. Cotnex just making sure he's out of range, because as you predicted, they are very much going to go towards that dragon.
For now, Millenium, they're not even moving forward, of course. There was no vision for them. The ping was there. Cogmore was far away. He was still running from the base. Wicked didn't have to use his teleport at all. Just an easy Dragon for Alliance. Really playing this early game beautifully.
Very well worked so far. Actually, by both teams, in fairness, it's Alliance that have just managed to steal the march slightly on them in terms of gold and tactical prowess. Kerp looking to maybe try and make a play and sacrifice himself onto Wicked, see if they can pin him down. He's all on his own. It's a 2v1.
But rest of Alliance are moving up here. Both Shook and Froggen is coming in. And will they actually... Ooh, backs away.
Moving in fast, the spear not quite landing. But with the support of Shook, it was enough to force Millenium off the tower. We do have a pause. Something we actually haven't had for a while, but you know, when we do see Froggen and Wicked on the board for Alliance, it's almost certain that a pause has to happen at some point.
Pretty much every time. Credit to Froggen though, he's actually about 10 CS ahead in farm here over Kerp on LeBlanc. Of course it helps him, the fact that Alliance had all the pressure around the mid lane, could then try and deny him some farm and then move in. Seems Creaton has some issues though.
Creaton with the headset slightly off at the moment just so he can talk to the admin. I love the fact that he's giving this little signal. And actually what he meant was it's a mouse problem. I'm not sure how that means a mouse problem. But nevertheless, maybe he's just saying my teammates are crazy. I don't know what's going on, but as it is, my mouse is not working. Time to buy a new mouse. It's a good job, right? This is not Kerp in the mid. Because
yeah, that would be a big issue.
We'd need a global alert going out that anyone got a trackball. Are they still in manufacture? I don't think they can.
I'm pretty sure he actually said there's no other trackball like the one he's using now. I mean, it's gone. It's dead. That's it.
So once that's gone, I mean, what's he going to do? What is going to happen? Who knows? I mean, it's a crucial...
New mid laner for Millenium. I mean, that's really only one choice.
That's it. He's done. He can't actually play with the mouse the same way he can. Anyway, we harp on about his trackball the whole time. Fantastic, fantastic start from both teams. Really high-level tactics coming out of these teams, which is something we haven't seen for quite a while in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows at least the teams are learning and adapting here. Really started to practice again coming into this season, picking up on these new early game tactics we have seen in other regions, and it's great to see, especially Alliance, in my opinion, are the best team now in Europe at doing these early game rotations, doing these early game moves around and knowing when to freeze the lanes and when do we take advantage if the other team is freezing the lane. That's why we saw them as well moving into this mid lane because, Kog'Maw wasn't there, so there was LeBlanc left the wave clear, there was Kevin left the wave clear, and we saw Kerp when he tried to jump in and clear the wave. Easy hook here from Nif, first blood as well, and also a lot of damage onto the tower.
I mean, obviously, you were playing last season throughout Season 3. Why is it taken so long for the European teams to basically pick up and manipulate the minions like Korea did? And obviously, that's what SK Telecom were doing in Season 3.
Well, first of all, when it comes to learning these small things, which is basically there's a lot of small things.
Micromanagement.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a lot of small things that then builds up to bigger things, bigger advantages, everything. It's very hard to just learn it by watching a game. Like when you sit and watch
seeing it.
Yeah, you just see a standard OGN game. You won't see all these small things here because you don't necessarily see the AD carry.
The camera may not even be following
exactly,
it, so you may
exactly.
not
You follow the camera, you don't see the AD carry setting up the wave the way he does, so now it pushes towards them. So you need to realize it yourself, you need to work on it. And obviously, again, for Europe and NA, if you go back to Season 3, we had the issue, we didn't have these coaches, analysts, where people would go in and help with these things. I'm not saying players can't do it, but the help wasn't there. So it's more for learning by yourself. And also, of course, we have to remember, you need to adapt to the teams you play against in your region. So if they don't do it, you don't necessarily have to do it, and you don't see it. You need a team to do it against you, so you lose to them while they're doing this tactic, and you're like, what just happened? Go in and watch the replay, and now once you watch the replay yourself, you can see all the small details. It's actually how we picked up our level 1 tactic when it comes back to Season 3 going into Gamescom, because we'd been scrimming against, it was Gambit at the time, who had this very, very nice level 1 tactic, and we were like, what do we do against it? We sat it down for like 2 or 3 hours and just looked at it and discussed it, and finally we actually picked it up ourselves.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, back in the game. We'll see how it's worked out, and sticking to that point, that's exactly why the teams have basically been talking about why they need these good analysis, good coaching there, because while you need to focus on your mechanics and everything else in game, you need somebody else out there with eyeballs on the world to see exactly what is happening, what's changing in the game. And at the moment, that's a very good Aqua Prison on Nif, but it wasn't followed up on.
And we need to see here with Wicked up in top lane. Him and Kevin, actually Kevin have been slightly ahead in farm, but Wicked did a good job early game. Picked up a lot of farm here, but Kevin, because the wave now was at the tower, all the way down his second tower here in the bottom lane, or in the top lane, sorry. He teleported to it, he picked up a lot of farm, and then he kept farming the waves all the way up, but Wicked had to run all the way up to the top lane. He actually managed to now get ahead in CS.
So Kevin keeping that pressure on to Wicked, and this is actually a battle that could easily go Kevin's way if Trundle plays it right against Shyvana, because if Shyvana's going to stack out that armor, at the moment you can see he's going forward towards the build wall to cut this. I'm guessing is going to go towards the
It will be.
Rune King.
It will be.
In there. Connex, though, is waiting, and they've already tried a 2v1 gank on Wicked once. Oh, Kerp in the mid lane. That's actually...
The clone.
The clone. Thank you, cameraman, trying to catch me out there. Sneaky.
So here, they basically want to try and deny the entire wave from Wicked here. He can ult away, they can try and chase him. Flash is still ready. This is not about the kill. This is just about denying Wicked from all this farm here. So he falls behind in XP and also, of course, falls behind going. But nice hook on Jerry.
This is absolutely about the kill, and Tabs executes him perfectly. Again, another fantastic move between Shook and Nif.
They are so good at this synergy here, and Wicked like teleporting into this lane. Kevin taking a lot of damage.
Oh, he nearly took him down. He might get in the tower. Hits there.
Oh!
No, he gets away. The stealth mechanics and a great pillar of ice from Kevin stops him dead in his tracks.
So, wow, Wicked just teleporting in. His ulti was actually still up here when he joined in for the fight. And almost took them down. 2 members just escaping here. Beautiful move. And Alliance, because they killed Jiren in this bottom lane, can also take the tower.
Just about pouncing back in. So close action so far, but it's Alliance with the lead, and it is building up very quickly, if I'm honest. It's a 5,000 gold lead, which seems strange where it's even come from. But again, as we talked about, just this little bit of micromanagement, this little bit of pressure all around the map has now built up to a 3-0 tower advantage. And of course the Dragon, the 2 kills, everything is going their way. Looking at the CS, you can see slightly in the favor of Alliance in every single lane.
Yeah, only the top lane being even here, but for now, that doesn't actually matter for them. And Jirini, you're dead.
Oh, Jerry caught out once again, and it's another double combo, this time Shook and his mid laner, and that means the red buff will be stolen away once again by Alliance. Of course, they took it away last time. Kotnex actually came in and Smite stole it back from them, but Alliance successfully invaded. Now, well, Kerp's going to be very tricky to pin down. They're going to put some damage down, and it's just going to force him out of the mid.
But again, good move by Alliance. All the outer turrets are gone here from Millenium, so it opens up for Alliance to take the wards, move them a step further in, get vision in the jungle of Millenium without any risk of any tower spotting you out or anything. And now they're just pushing down this mid lane. Millenium, they might want to try and set up for flank here. Decides not to. Also because Alliance just backs away.
Well, they didn't really have the minion wave with them. The Dragon's not up for 2 minutes, so it's the blue buff they're going to head back off and pick up. Wicked will back off, and that's going to leave Kevin some free time to hit on that tower. No teleport available, so he will manage to get a minion wave into it. Blue buff goes across to Kerp. Meanwhile, you can see Nif actually trying to set something up, and Creaton, I don't think he's happy with his mouse right now. I'm guessing it's Creaton once again. Yes, it is.
It is.
See straight away the referee back to him.
And he's also falling very far behind in CS now. There's also a very big wave for Taps down the bottom lane at the moment, so he's going to get even further ahead. Because Taps already with his Bloodthirster, stacking it up here. Really very, very strong start from Alliance. Very strong start, of course, also for Taps now. Coming into, if there's a Dragon fight, Taps is going to be so strong.
Well, that mouse situation is going to be replaced. You can see one of the referees bringing in a new mouse for him, and it takes obviously 2 people to change a mouse.
Yeah, of course. One guy has to hold it, the other one plucks it out.
That's exactly what you've got to do. They're going to walk away. They heard me. It's like, just going to screw you off, guys. I'm just going to leave you to it. So that mouse will get replaced. Hopefully, Creaton will be back in it. And of course, you know, talking of peripherals, this is maybe a big thing. If it's not a mouse that Creaton's used to, this is a big situation, because that is everything you have attached into this game.
It is, and you're so used to just playing with the same style. It takes
identical mouse.
Oh man, that would be perfect then. or otherwise he will have an excuse in case they lose after the game. Yeah, it's the wrong mouse, man. I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, it gives him a self-made excuse already, despite the fact he's 100 CS behind. So, at the moment, Alliance have that big advantage, a 5,000 gold lead at the moment, and this is really just simply the smallest mechanical differences that Alliance have used. It's not been big, flashy plays. You haven't needed to do that, despite the fact, of course, they got themselves 3 kills. But they're not big, flashy plays, and the way they've handled these opening lanes, they did the exact same thing as Fnatic. It worked even better against Fnatic because Fnatic didn't react properly.
Yeah.
At least Millenium kind of read the situation well.
Millenium sent 2 members top, both Kevin and Kotnex, to try and push out the wave here, but because both Nif and Taps was there, they could actually hold them away here. And while, yes, all the minions died, for at least our Alliance minions died, but the minions from Millenium were still alive, so they just kept the freeze going. And then Wicked showed up top lane, forced them away, and from there on, that was the smart thing, because normally you don't want to leave a Kog'Maw to just freeze a lane down bottom. You don't want him free farming, just giving a lot of his farm here. So what the Alliance could have done was actually take their bottom lane, rotate it down bot here so they could push out the wave. Instead, though, they said, we don't care about him for now, because we want to take the mid tower, we want to push them away from the top lane as well and take full control of the jungle, and that's what they did, and it was a beautiful move into the mid lane, getting the tower down as well, and then get wards in, so they could also pick up a kill, or a second kill on Jiri at the red buff.
So back into the game, and hopefully that mouse is working properly. Of course, the players all bring their own peripherals here, so it's down to them really, whether they've got backups or not, whether their mouse breaks on. It can happen at any time, but at the moment, Kerb in the mid lane, maybe he's going to be a glimmer of hope. Of course, went 10-0-5 last time he got onto LeBlanc.
We need to see, for now he's falling quite far behind in TS actually. He's moving down his bottom lane, potentially trying to get a kill onto Taps, but he's going to be spotted out by at least some of the wards if he walks into the bush. The minions, of course, will see him as well. Taps very wisely, just staying all the way back. Don't want to take a chance as soon as Kerb moved away from this mid lane.
Now in that mid lane, got Jerry in support. Jerry himself got caught out twice. Got to make sure that doesn't happen again. Pushing quite deep in that lane, considering they didn't have a great deal of cover, but you can see good ward coverage from both of these teams around that river area. Dragon will be up in 30 seconds time, and there is a pink ward in there for Alliance, but not a lot of coverage from Millenium, and you can see Alliance taking even more of it away.
And I don't think Millenium has their exact time on the Dragon, because there was no vision actually when the first one went down. So as long as Alliance can clear away instant vision around the Dragon, they might actually get a head start on it. Just a few seconds can be enough to pick it up before Millenium is in position. And you actually see now Millenium with 3 of their members in this mid lane, and now Crypt joining them as well. So for now, they're not moving towards the Dragon.
Well, Wicked actually didn't follow through on that one, despite the fact Kevin was so very, very low. He simply just bullied him out the lane, forces him back, and that buys, of course, time for Alliance to go into that Dragon. Millenium, though, going to try and react to this one. Connex takes that spear straight to the face. They're going to go in towards the tower, but they're going to have Millenium coming in, Alliance coming in the side of them.
Yeah, Wicked can also teleport behind him in case he wants to flank around. For now, he's just pushing it out. Kevin needs to go back and heal up before he can join in for a fight. So Alliance, they managed to defend the tower.
Yeah, that was very well played by Wicked. Didn't get the kill. Oh, Kerb has got Wicked staying around the side. He's going to come in towards him. He can just distort himself away from that one. But again, that's bought themselves free time on this middle turret now.
And look at the lanes here. Bottom lane is going to push into the tower of Millenium. Alliance is in this mid lane pushing out with the wave. Top lane, Kevin is forced to go defend it because this is also pushing. So every single lane from Alliance were just pushing down towards Millenium, and they pick up an easy tower.
This is exactly the pressure that Fnatic needed to apply. The fact that all 3 lanes continually pushing in there. As soon as they come around, take that objective, they can keep pushing through, and they're going to go for a net second one here. Kevin will teleport down, but of course that's going to leave that top wave. It will slow push itself in Millenium's favor, I believe, judging by looking
at it will. But there's plenty of time for Alliance to stay, poke a little bit, and then in the next minute or so, go back, recall, go up to the top lane and pick up the massive wave. Because now also there's teleport on Wicked, where Kevin's of course is on cooldown because he had to use it to defend here. For now, Alliance is staying around poking. There's a lot of damage from Taps onto multiple members there.
Yeah, and of course the big advantage here is the fact that Alliance do have those spears coming through. You just saw Kevin there. Kevin taking half his hit point damage from one single spear because while being the tank of the team, has not built tanky yet. And
this right here we just saw is actually a big issue for Millenium. The main engage for them is either Kevin running in from the side with his teleport, Connex jumping in, starting something, or Jiri landing his tidal wave, landing a bubble to start a fight. He tried to use the tidal wave. On Nami, it's not the best to engage. It's very easy to predict from the enemy team. It's very easy to just move out of.
It's slow moving.
Yeah, it's very, very slow, so it's not very good engage. Generally, it's either used as disengage or as follow-up, not the main engage here, so it's a big issue for Millenium. They can't really just start a fight. They need everything to come down perfect. They need a ward behind the team of Alliance. They need Jiri to land a bubble or a very good tidal wave, or they need Kerb to just blow up a target. Otherwise, it's hard for them to start a fight. That's why Alliance could just stay around, push the tower, and slowly back away as soon as they saw the tidal wave.
Well, Kerb's going to try and set something up here, but he's going to walk straight into a ward, which is why Wicked instantly steps back away from that wave. But of course, that's shown himself in that top lane, and it gives Alliance, again, yet more chances to move in, steal away the red buff once again. You can see they're clearing out all of the vision. Vision control, big thing for Alliance now. And they're going to try and make a move back on towards his bottom turret.
Yeah, they're forcing Curb now to recall open this top lane, get him away so he can't do damage to the top tower, simply by pushing down here, because Millenium, they need him to be here with the team.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Spears coming through. If he lands on Kraton, it's going to be a serious problem. Kraton trying to use that ultimate to keep them in vision, keep them at bay as well. Pillar of Ice is working well. And for now, that wave is cleared. But again, you can see Wicked back in the top lane. Is going to work that wave all the way back down along that top turret. And somebody, somewhere, is going to have to go deal with him.
But this mid lane as well, Lions can just move in, push it out, go back to the bottom lane, in case they want to keep the pressure going. For now, seem to just back away. You see the items here, Wicked, going towards either the Randuin into Sunfire or the Blade, as he did just complete the Blade here. So for him, big power spike now. Of course, Death Cap is almost completed onto Froggen, and we see taps going towards the Trinity Force. So there's a few items here for Lions coming in within the next minute, which are big power spikes for them. And once they pick them up, they can really start to apply pressure.
Well, it's a 7,000 gold lead so far for Alliance, continuing to keep some wards down. Blue buff was warded up this time, and I think Alliance may fancy trying to steal this one away from Millenium.
Let's see, 5 members from Millenium are here. Of course, Wicked can join in. So need a little bit of time before the teleport actually comes in, so Alliance need to be a little bit careful here.
We'll see whether one of those spears does manage to land through. They're trying to pull it as far away as possible. You can see Shook not quite getting in there. The spear does land, but it was smited away, unfortunately, for Kerb. It means Connex will have that one.
So they actually pretty much do whatever they want. They kept Millenium up here, so Wicked again could keep pushing in this bottom lane. Kevin needs to go down and try and stop this push going. The tower is already gone, and that's just basically from Alliance staying 4 members around the blue buff, forcing Millenium to be there to try and pick it up.
Keeping pressure on the map. It's what seems to be working well, and it's what Alliance really have stepped up their game doing coming into this summer LCS split. And it's trying to distort it, trying to scare them away. Got to be careful. Got hooked out last time he did that one. Has another turret picked up. Death Sentence does not land. Wicked does try and sneak around the backside of them, but Millenium were quick to back away.
Still, just picking up more and more gold from Alliance, global gold everywhere. They have 6 towers now to only 1 from Millenium. They have the Dragons, of course. Next one is coming up here in about 55 seconds. They can go get another one after the recall, pick up the big items, and just go down. We see Froggen did complete his Death Cap, and of course Taps completed Trinity Force. So now they're really hitting the point where they're just so much stronger than Millenium.
This is really rather impressive from Alliance, just how well they've controlled this entire game. These last 21 minutes have all been basically in their favor, and at no point have they ever looked in danger or out of control of a situation.
It is so risk-free because of the comp Millenium is running here, because of the lack of hard engage, because of the lack of instant wave clear. It's easy for Alliance to just group up around these towers here, poke them down a little bit, get some damage, get someone low, and then you just take the tower on the next time when Millenium is moving away because they can't actually stay and fight. There's been very good moves from Alliance and really taking full advantage of the fact that they survived or did well the early game, and Millenium then fell behind. And here's the tidal wave.
Well, the tidal wave only catches on to Shook. He got a lantern already. He can just take straight away from that one. The Cullen doing work and taking half the hit points off Kevin there. There's 1,000 hit points down, and the Dragon now getting started off without that tidal wave. This is going to be tricky for Millenium. They're going to go for it though. The Flay doing great work from Nif. It's going to be a pouncing and a steal from Carnex. We do see Wicked jumping on towards him, flashes away, gets followed straight through. Wicked managed to lock him down with a kill, and now Kraton may be the focus target instead. They're not going to go for it. Kevin had to separate. He's gone one way. What will Alliance do? Will they move straight for Baron? It seems they will.
Seems they will. Kevin with teleport. He can come up there. The rest of the team, they need to move up and try and stop Alliance from doing this. It's very early Baron, so they will take a lot of damage from it.
Well, they're going to go towards that middle turret instead. Will they go towards the side? Remember, there's the teleport. Oh, it's going to be a death push. The spear.
Nice.
Spear didn't land, and that gave the game away. Basically, they were in that bush.
And also, Kraton, he did the beautiful thing you can do on Kog'Maw here. You can check these bushes with your ulti, get vision around it so you don't have to face check. Smart move, and Millenium gets actually a tower for it.
And for the first time, honestly, Alliance actually didn't look in control of a situation. They weren't quite sure how that one would play out. And you can see Millenium, they're sticking around. Hopefully not too long for their sake. Kerb does go in, goes very deep. Nif with the Ignite running. No, the heal from Froggen's there. Death Sentence doesn't quite land. That would have been sweet revenge if it did. Instead, it does save the tower.
Also, got a way to summon a heal from Froggen at least. He felt he had to use it instantly, and then his own heal afterwards because of the Ignite there. So he had to do everything he could to actually save Nif. And now Kerb needs to go back and heal. Rest of Alliance are just instantly pushing off here. The top lane, however, is pushing heavily in favor of Millenium.
The red buff once again getting stolen away by Alliance, as you mentioned, that top buff. We did see Wicked already teleporting, cleared out that bottom wave, so he can't teleport up there. Instead, we are going to see Lucian making his way up there in form of Tabs, who will get his own red buff en route, or will not. He'll just run straight past it.
A bit of a messy fight here if we go back to the Dragon, of course. Ended up, yes, there was a kill for Alliance, but they lost the Dragon due to Cognex stealing it away. And we saw, once Millennium actually gets into the face of Alliance and can actually start a fight, at least they can do something. They weren't so far behind, they just crumbled, just lost instantly. Of course, with Nidalee, you want to poke first, you don't want to go into this fight just straight away. And Alliance at least, or Millennium, got some gold back, and also with the mid tower, because they pretty much called the bluff of Alliance around the Baron.
Well, 2 seasons on and people still cheer those wards going down. Would you believe they keep on going? Nevertheless, Alliance are in full control. 9,000 gold in the lead, 6-2 in turrets, and in terms of items, of course, that gives them a big advantage. We've yet to see it in a full-on engagement, though. Millennium yet to actually land their perfect engage. That wave has been sidestepped or dodged, or simply just caught 1 or 2 members of Alliance so far. Has to try and land properly. Alliance, though, they're going to come through. They're going to sweep out all those wards that Millennium just got back in there. And again, force himself some sort of objective control, maybe at this blue buff once again.
And here's the thing, because Alliance has so much control and the poke, they don't need to directly go into teamfights with Nif. Actually getting hit by the bubble here.
It's a good bubble. Nif's in trouble. He's going to go down. This time Kurt will get the kill and secure it. The rest of Alliance are going to come around here. That buff may not be safe, though. We do see Shook. He lands the kick, but does not follow through. But again, Cognex had to smite it away.
So they at least managed to prevent the blue buff from going over to Kurt, but still, they lost a member. And now they're starting the Baron once again. Millennium, they're far, far away.
Well, the smite is down, of course, remember. Don't forget, so they know that Cognex is not going to be able to jump in just yet. That's going to be on a cooldown time. You can see half of it
Oh, they don't
away.
even know. They have no idea. They're doing the raves.
Wicked is actually pushing in, and as you mentioned, they just don't know it's happening. You can see it on your screen that they have no vision of this, and it's a great Baron pickup for Alliance.
Oh, such a sneaky move here. They lose 1 member, Millennium backs away, expect, yeah, okay, Alliance, they're not going to do anything with Baron, of course. They just lost a member to us. And then Alliance just walked straight into the Baron. Millennium walked back to the base and realized, damn, they actually just started the Baron with only the 3 members.
And they took it down with ease as well, because they have that big advantage. So 4 members of Alliance making the moves straight down to Wicked, who's pushing in that bottom wave, and maybe the inhibitor turret is going to be their next focus target.
Should be at least. Top lane up here is going to push for Alliance. Mid lane, of course, is already into the tower, so at least Kreasan can clear this wave out and get it pushing towards. So Froggen staying around here, actually going to join with the team. Now we can just see the best thing Nidalee can do. Just stay back with the Baron buff, poke away, you take some damage, you heal it up, and whoa. Kurt going a bit aggressive.
Trying to get aggressive on Shook, but he can quickly heal that straight off. He's got the regen, of course, from the Baron and Nidalee's heals to help him out now. They're going to have some range on towards his tower, though, which is a problem. Lucian trying to go for it, but as you see, Kurt getting up close and personal, but the spear manages to find his target. Now they're going to go in. Shook has to flash away from that one, but it was a good kick on Kevin, which knocked up 3 members of Millennium, and now this inhibitor turret will drop.
And they also go straight for the inhibitor, and then they can rotate into the mid lane, push the wave down, even go towards the top side if they want, because there's a big wave building up. Or they can simply back away, go back and shop with all the gold they picked up from the Baron, of course, and from the tower they just took in the bottom lane.
Well, I think with Kurt down, I'm not sure they are going to back away. I thought they may well keep the pressure on. Of course, it is a fairly short cooldown timer, but check this fight out.
Yeah, just look here. It's actually Nif landing hook onto Kevin, and Kirby took a lot of damage when he jumped in, and then the spear coming. Oh, he's just between him and the clone. Going down for it. We see actually pretty good disengage from Jerry with the tidal wave. Using it correctly here, because finally you could actually use it as you're supposed to do it. Still, it's not enough. Curb already died. Baron buff onto Alliance. They can take the tower, take the inhibitor.
So, 15 seconds for the next Dragon. Alliance already making moves towards it. That will go their way, and it's going to keep massive objective gold going in their favor. Already 11,000 gold lead, 7-2 up in turrets, and now, of course, with that bottom lane inhibitor down, super minions pushing in there, which is why Kevin is fighting desperately to keep them away. And speaking of these top laners, we mentioned it right at the start, how they're really going to struggle in terms of gold, in terms of farm, in terms of items. You can see, looking at Kevin, he's only got the Randian Zone, he's got the Build Draw to cut this, but not a lot else.
And while he actually went even in farm, Wick needs to be careful here. They're going for him.
Oh, it's going to be tricky to take down. He's very tanky, and it just flashes on through and walks away with that burnout running.
And now Millenium, they need to recall fast because Alliance, they're pushing on to this mid tower.
Well, they know that there's 3 members not here right now. They're going to go for it. That's a good bubble coming out from J-Re. Will slow them down ever so slowly, but not a great deal. That's going to be another inhibitor turret going down. Now all members of Millenium are back, but we see Wicked teleporting back in full health. They're going to keep on pushing.
They can go for this one here. Nice hook onto J-Re.
Death sentence is not quite enough for J-Re. The bubble doesn't land. Tabs got caught out pretty hard there, though, by Kerp trying to push in towards the Millenium, having to back away from this inhibitor, and it will be a second one taken down by Alliance.
And again, whenever Millenium tries to defend something, one member will die for it, another one will drop low, and then Alliance can just pick up the inhibitor. Second one of the game for them, and now back away to do the exact same thing. Either go back to shop if they want to spend the gold, or just move straight up to this top lane, go towards the last inhibitor.
Yeah, they're going to get that wave shoved in. Kerp's got to be careful. He's following it up there at the moment, actually. You can see Wicked is going to head it off. The rest of Alliance are in the jungle, actually very close to Kerp. Kerp in that tri-bush. It looks like he's going to try and jump onto Tabs. No. If he'd have stuck around a little bit longer, he may well have worked out for him. He hasn't shown himself yet. So Alliance have no idea that Kerp is there.
Still though, he's actually going to spot Wicked at this minion wave. Of course, Tabs not even going to run up and try and face check him. But Kirby's basically trying to do what he can do. Just find a surprise pick somewhere, kill a target, extend the game a little bit for Millenium so they can farm away and at least try and get towards some items. I mean, look at Kevin. He only has 1 item completed and we are 30 minutes into the game.
Yeah, they've just been starved out for a long portion of this game. So far, it's working near perfect for Alliance. They have, of course, let 2 turrets go down and a single death come through, but other than that, they've had almost full objective control, including the red and blue buffs from the opposition jungle. Alliance pushing in for the final inhibitor. I'm not sure if they really need this one simply, or whether they're just looking for points for their fantasy team, but it seems that they do want to take down this final turret nonetheless.
They want to play it safe at least. Connect's going very aggressive here, has to jump out.
Home Guard's running him in there, quickly bounces straight back out, and that's going to buy time. Alliance moving in, that turret is dropping very quickly. Kevin can't do anything about it, Kraton can't get close to it. Meanwhile, the super minions on the Nexus turret, they're almost taking that down. You can see Kraton having to back away, gets across, gets the kill on Shook. Connex tries to pounce in and pounces out. The Nexus turrets are falling though. Super minions are onto the second Nexus turret. While this is happening, Alliance pushing in, Millenium being distracted. The second Nexus turret's gone down. The super minions driving on through. Millenium can do nothing here. They are helpless to the push of the minions as Alliance will take victory and top the league against Millenium.
Fantastic early game play by Alliance here. They had full control of the map, knew exactly what to do in the lane swaps, got all 3 auto turrets down and then just starting warding off the jungle from Millenium, finding the buffs, finding the picks here, extending the lead. Beautiful, beautiful rotations from Alliance.
Could not have said it better myself. Full control by Alliance there. They just had one of the slightest moments where they wobbled, but quickly took advantage, moved straight up, and managed to take that Baron.
Yeah, pretty much the only times where Millenium were pretty much in a position to do something against Alliance were when they were waiting in the bush, there was no wards from Alliance, and then someone like Nif would face check, they would pick up a kill. But when they actually did get the kill, Alliance just went straight for Baron anyway, picked up the Baron, Millenium didn't expect it, and we just have to say, looking all the way back to around 10-12 minutes, Alliance were already 5,000-6,000 goals ahead by that time.
Well, we dubbed them the super team when they got formed, and right now they are starting to deliver. 4 wins, 1 loss, as I say, topping the table now, taking down the only team that was anywhere near close to them, which was, of course, Millenium. They had a great opening Super Week, but no shame there. A impeccable performance coming out from Alliance, and maybe a shining light for Europe, honestly.